Have you been feeling broken, limited, and incapacitated about your prolapses? I get it, so did I. But if you want to hear how changing those emotions and beliefs can heal your prolapses naturally, stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, tap that bell for notifications every single time I post a new video about how to heal your prolapses naturally. My husband Duncan and I used all of the advice in this video to help me heal 3 pelvic organ prolapses, a grade 3 rectocele, grade 2 to 3 cystocele, mild uterine, and a big diastasis recti and ab separation, and we've helped many other women also reverse their prolapses naturally. The first thing you need to know is that you are not vulnerable, broken, or limited because you are not just a physical being. And when you know this and you understand this and it's explained to you in depth, you can no longer feel unsafe in your body again. So we are actually 99.99999% energy. We are not just this physical meat suit. I'm sorry if that's a huge big shock. I was completely shocked the first time I understood this about 25 years ago. But I have helped many, many women heal all kinds of things in their body. We niched in prolapse around about 6 years ago, but before that we helped women to heal all kinds of things in their body. So there is so much more than this physical meat suit. And if you know that, you could no longer feel insecure, worried that you can't heal, because anything is possible. So you may have heard on my first video that a prolapse is created from a feeling of insecurity, vulnerability, not feeling safe on planet Earth. And when you slowly, over time, it takes time, change that emotional set point, your body will heal. Now let's talk about some ways that you might experience this pattern as an adult, because often this pattern got started as a child. And you may have had therapy, by the way, some amazing therapy, and feel like you got over that trauma. That's how I felt, because I actually felt like I got over the trauma of what happened to me as a child. But after getting the prolapses, I realized that the patterns were still there. So the emotional, vibrational patterns were still there. So for example, I was afraid of the dark, and I didn't realize until after I got my prolapses and started to figure this out. You know, as soon as it would get dark, I would bring the blinds down. I would lock the doors. In hotel rooms, I would put myself and the kids, as far back in the room as possible. I'd leave Duncan near the front door, my husband near the front door, right? So if anything happened, he'd get hurt, right? All kinds of things. I'd be out running, walking, jogging, and I'd be afraid that somebody would jump out and get me. And I just thought this was a pattern that all women had on the planet, but I realized they don't. And as soon as I started to heal this pattern slowly and feel safe in my body and safe on planet Earth and safe for my kids, trusting my kids that they would also be safe on planet Earth, my body healed. Okay, the next thing you need to know is that your body is adaptable. It is not vulnerable, and it is made to heal itself and to adapt and cope. So I really want to reassure you that you do not need to worry about lifting your baby or lifting very light objects or sitting on a chair in a certain way. I'm thinking right now about one of our program members, and as she was starting to move out of this vulnerability vibration, she said to me, Jenny, do you remember when I was almost afraid to switch on a light that it would create tension in my pelvic floor? I was like, yeah, and I get it, there is so much scaremongering that goes on. Now, obviously, I do not recommend, and my husband Duncan, he deals with the physical side of things, does not recommend going to lift huge, big, heavy weights or going back to CrossFit when you have a prolapse. We don't recommend that at all. We recommend that after you've healed, obviously, but you can do light chores, household tasks, picking up washing, loading it into the washing machine, stacking the dishwasher, getting into your car. You might be thinking, why are you saying that, Jenny? Of course I've got to do these things. Exactly. Did you know that even getting into your car is actually a squat, a bench, a twist, and a lunge pattern? Right? Bending down to load washing into a machine, depending on how big your machine is often a deadlift or a squat. All of these household tasks, your body will adapt to them and you will not injure yourself or make the prolapse worse. But if in your mind you're constantly terrified about doing those things, then yes, you will create pelvic floor tension, because tension in the mind is tension in the body, and you may even become symptomatic. But if they're light things and you're not dragging, huge whatever, and you're not lifting up huge heavy weights and objects, then it's coming from your mind, not the physical activity. I remember when I discovered I had these prolapses, I was terrified and my mind went crazy. So drop the craziest thoughts you've had about your prolapses in the comment section below, and we can all help each other out, because we've all had them. You are not alone. It is just the mind reacting to a really attention-grabbing situation. And here's the thing, those scary thoughts have actually always been there on lots of different topics. You just never noticed them until now. In the end, and I know it's easy for me to say this because I've healed all of my prolapses, and if you watch the testimonials from members in our program, you will often hear them say the same thing. In the end, a prolapse becomes an opportunity. Because if you think about it, when you have a prolapse, you cannot diet your way out of it, you can't exercise your way out of it. There's wonderful remedies out there, but ultimately all you have is your own mind and your consciousness, because that's what got it started in the first place. So in my humble opinion, and I know this might be hard to hear, a prolapse is an opportunity for growth, expansion, and joy, and to learn about how the world and the universe really works, and then go off when you've healed and live your absolute best life. If you want to learn more about why I don't believe you are vulnerable, even though you have a prolapse, and how to get out of that vulnerability vibration, join me on my free masterclass. You can grab your spot in the description link below, or you can type free training into the comment section and I'll send you the link, and I can't wait to see you there. Be sure to check out my next video about why you don't need to feel depressed after your prolapse diagnosis and what to do about it. See you then.